When you think of file servers, you probably think of this. Computers stacked on top of each other in a huge server rack with dozens of wires coming in and out of it. Well, it doesn't have to be. What if I told you that having a file server at home is not only possible, it can be done cheaply with your old PC collecting dust and old hardware lying around the house? Well, you're in luck. Since I upgraded my workstation with a new motherboard and processor, I have a board now to upgrade my file server, and I'm taking this opportunity to record the process. So if you don't have an old PC lying around or upgrading your current PC with the new motherboard and processor, older used board CPU combos can be had pretty cheaply on eBay. The one I'm taking out of my workstation is actually something you can find on eBay for less than $50 if you look hard enough. It's no i7, i5, or even an i3. It's the last generation of Intel's Core 2 Duo Quad, specifically the Q6600, a 4-core processor clocking in at 2.4 GHz. During its time, it was one of the best chips you could get. Now it's barely able to surf the internet comfortably. Rather than let it go to waste, we're going to be using it to upgrade my last attempt at creating a file server. It was an unfinished project that I had to abandon because of time. What a perfect opportunity then. First thing I did was take inventory of my hard drives and back up anything on this PC I wanted to transfer to the next one. Then it was time for the disassembly. This old board didn't come with onboard graphics, so it actually needed a video card. So out that goes. Taking off the optical drive. This one is actually IDE, believe it or not. It's a perfectly good drive, and I haven't the heart to end its career, so it'll be going back in later. But for now, it's easier if it's out of the way. After taking off all the cables from the motherboard, it's time to remove the screws from the motherboard. Now I'm standing the case up like this for sake of the video. It's easier if you lie it down so the board doesn't drop after removing the last screw. See the sacrifices I make for you people? Well, I guess I spoke too soon. I had to lie it down anyway to get it out. Time for the board we took from the last PC put into this one. Mustn't forget the IO shield. Time for the board to go in. And I'm totally ruining the shot with my fat ass. Sorry. Here's a better angle. Now putting the screws in. Time to connect the wires up to the board and install the drives. I thought about putting in the video card, but it already came with its own onboard graphics. So to save myself the trouble, I opted out of using the video card. I'm installing it here, but I ended up removing it while troubleshooting later. I already had a 1 terabyte hard drive in this with Ubuntu 18.04 installed, and bought 4 2 terabyte drives used on eBay to give me a total of 8 terabytes of storage with 1 terabyte dedicated to the OS. With everything connected, it's time to boot her up. And here's where the problems start. First thing I noticed was the CPU fan was having a hard time starting up. Most likely it was getting gummed up with dust and such. You can see the BIOS throwing CPU fan errors here. First thing on the list to get next is a new CPU fan and heatsink. So with the computer unable to get into the OS, I thought maybe there's an issue with the video card. I have a pretty good instinct for these things, because there you go, it got into the OS. Join me on the next episode where I change out the CPU fan and heatsink, as well as add case fans and other goodies, and set up the hard drives and OS for sharing on the network. And be sure to like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this in the future. Until next time, this is Zumair, logging off.